What are you doing?
Just throwing out the stale bread.
But we could have used that for something.
Michael Chin had built his restaurant empire from nothing. At 58, he owned 5 successful establishments across the city. Today he was visiting his newest location, a beachfront cafe that had been struggling with complaints about food waste. He arrived unannounced just after closing time. Wanted to see how things really ran when management thought no one was watching. The ocean breeze carried the scent of salt water as he approached through the side alley. That's when he saw her. A young waitress in a burgundy uniform stood by the dumpster. She couldn't have been more than 25. Her hand reached into the bin and pulled out what looked like dinner rolls, still in their basket. She placed them carefully into a plastic bag she was holding. Michael's jaw tightened. An employee stealing food. This was exactly the kind of problem he had come to root out. He stepped forward, ready to confront her. But something made him pause. The way she handled those rolls so carefully, as if they were precious. There was no shame in her movements, no guilt, just quiet determination. He watched as she reached in again, retrieving what appeared to be bread that had been removed from tables, untouched by customers but destined for disposal according to health codes. "Excuse me," Michael called out, his voice firm. The young woman spun around, clutching the bag to her chest. Her name tag read Elena. Up close, he could see the exhaustion in her eyes, the kind that came from carrying weight far heavier than serving trays. "I can explain," she said quickly, her voice steady despite being caught. "I know what this looks like." "I'm sure you do," Michael replied. "I'm the owner, Michael Chun." The color drained from her face, but she didn't run. Instead, she stood straighter. "Mr. Chun, I've heard about you. They say you're fair. Fair doesn't mean I tolerate theft." "It's not theft that was already thrown away," Elena said quietly. "And I'm not taking it for myself." Michael crossed his arms. "Then who?" Elena hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. "Would you come with me? It's not far. Let me show you rather than tell you." Something in her earnest expression made Michael nod. He followed her down the boardwalk as the evening sun painted the sky orange and pink. She led him 6 blocks inland to an older neighborhood where the paint peeled from buildings and windows were patched with cardboard. They stopped at a community center, barely more than a converted garage. Through the open door, Michael saw them, elderly people, maybe 20 of them, sitting at folding tables. Some looked to be in their 70s or 80s. All had the weathered faces of people who had worked hard their whole lives and now found themselves forgotten. Elena walked in and faces lit up. "Elena's here," someone called out. She unpacked her bag, arranging the rolls on paper plates. An older woman with silver hair touched her hand. "Bless you, child. Some of us, this is our only meal today." Michael stood in the doorway, frozen. One man caught his eye, probably 70, with trembling hands. He reminded Michael of his own father, who had worked in a factory for 40 years before his pension evaporated when the company went bankrupt. "Elena brings us food 3 times a week," the silver-haired woman explained, noticing Michael. "Food that restaurants throw away. Still good, just not pretty enough to serve. She's kept this program running for 2 years, all on her own." Michael turned to Elena. 2 years?" She nodded. "I started when my grandmother wound up in a place like this after her savings ran out. She died before I could help her. I promised myself I'd help others like her." Her voice cracked slightly. "I know I could get fired, but I couldn't let good food go to waste when people are hungry." An elderly man approached Michael. "Young man, you look successful. Maybe you could help our Elena. She needs a commercial kitchen to prepare proper meals, but permits cost money. She does what she can with what she has." That night, Michael couldn't sleep. He kept seeing those faces. People who had built this country, raised families, paid taxes, and now survived on bread pulled from dumpsters. He saw his father. He saw the man he might become if fortune ever turned against him. The next morning, Michael called Elena into the office. She arrived expecting to be fired, her resignation already written in her eyes. "Sit down," Michael said gently. "I've been thinking about what I saw." "Mr. Chun, I understand if you have to let me go. I'm not firing you. Elena, I'm promoting you." He slid papers across the desk. "I'm making you director of Chin Community Outreach. Salary, benefits, and a budget. We're going to do this right." Elena stared at the papers, tears streaming down her face. "I don't understand." "I built my business to make money," Michael said, his own voice thick with emotion. "But I forgot why money matters. My father worked himself to exhaustion and died with nothing. I never want to see that happen again." He paused. "You reminded me that success means nothing if we don't lift others up with us." Within 3 months, Elena had transformed operations. All 5 of Michael's restaurants now donated and used food properly. The community center expanded. They served hot meals 4 times a week, helped seniors apply for benefits, and connected them with health care. Michael visited every Tuesday, serving meals alongside Elena. The seniors adopted him as one of their own, calling him our Michael and sharing stories of their lives. He learned more about dignity and resilience at those folding tables than in any boardroom. One evening, the silver-haired woman pulled him aside. "You know what the real miracle is?" she asked. "It's not just the food. It's that someone finally saw us. Elena saw us. You saw us. After years of being invisible, someone looked and cared. That's the gift you've both given." Michael thought about that moment often. He had almost fired Elena for theft. Instead, she had given him something priceless, a purpose beyond profit, a reminder of what really mattered. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness creates the biggest change. Sometimes what looks like wrong is actually the most right thing in the world. And sometimes we find our purpose in the most unexpected places, in the hands of a young waitress brave enough to reach into a dumpster because she believed every person deserved dignity. If this story touched your heart, please share, and subscribe. Leave a comment telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your perspective. Your stories inspire others to look beyond the surface and see the humanity in everyone around us.